Well, hello, my beautiful and amazing crafters. Welcome to another video of Crafting with Shaneda. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can use Canva's text to write in Cricut Design Space. So Cricut Design Space has such amazing text to choose from if you have the Cricut access. There's a lot of amazing writing text and fonts, current fonts that you can use for your projects. Now, if you don't have Cricut access, you'll run into the issue of trying to find a text that you could use to write and use your Cricut pen or marker. So a lot of times when you choose a font in Cricut Design Space and you go to operation to change it from a cut to a pen, it has this hollow text effect. In most cases, you'll have to go into the Cricut Design Space font settings and look for a writing font. Here's one I purchased, a child's year. And as you can see, now it takes that hollow effect and makes it just a solid line that you can send to your mat for your Cricut pen to write just like this. But what if you don't have access or you want to be able to still have this option and not have to pay for a writing text? So I will show you how you can use text from Canva and bring it and upload it into Cricut Design Space so you can write without this hollow effect. Let's head over to Canva and get started. Now here I'm on the Canva homepage and I'm going to go ahead and get started. You can create a new design, and at this point the size of the design won't really matter because we'll be saving the text as a PNG. So I like to just have one file that I kind of do off of my templates and designs so I don't have so many Canva projects open. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my little temp folder here. And what you want to do is you want to look for a font that is really thin, a very lightweight font. So that way when you bring this font into Cricut Design Space and change it from a cut to a pen, you will have the solid lines without having that hollow effect that you would typically get in Cricut Design Space. In the font drop down, I just typed in thin, or you could use light, and you would get all the fonts that have a really thin or really light appearance. Since I have Canva Pro, I tend to choose those options that are available since I have the Pro and take advantage of the Pro options. So I went ahead and just played around with some verbiage and a design. I brought this little banner in by just going to Elements, and I typed in banner outline because I'm thinking in advance that I want Cricut Design Space to draw this. So I'm just going with the concept of that hollow or lined effect that Cricut would be able to use and draw with my pen. And the same thing with the cap. So I finished adding my mock address and a few more elements. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on share on the top right hand corner, and I'm going to download this as a PNG with a transparent background. Once it's downloaded, I'll save it and I will import it into Cricut Design Space. But before we head over to Cricut Design Space, I also wanted to show you how you could add different colors, pens to your project. Since this project will just be in a black pen or a solid color, I just wanted to kind of switch it up and show you how you could incorporate different colors in your design. So I just wanted to make a quick bookmark. So I went under the elements as well again and typed in bookmark. And I brought in this bookmark here. And then I saw these cute little star outlines and I added that to my design. And then I wrote the word Dream Big, and this is the font that I used. And I'm going to bring this into Cricut Design Space, and I'm going to separate these three elements. So when I bring them into Cricut Design Space, I could go ahead and just slice them so they'll be three separate elements and then design my bookmark. And I'll show you that in just a few minutes. Let's go ahead and download the PNG and let's head over to Cricut Design Space. And since we already have had the transparent background, we don't have to worry about removing the background. We could just bring it in as a cut image. I'm going to do the same thing with my bookmark project I created as well. So for my envelope, what I did is I went over to shapes and I brought in a shape to mimic my envelope. And the envelope that I'm going to be using to write the text is 5 by 7 inches. So I'm going to align my text in the middle of my mock envelope. And then I could go ahead and send it to the mat. Now, if you wanted to create a little window to make it a little bit easier for yourself, you definitely can do so. And let me show you how. So I'm going to duplicate my shape. I'm just going to make like a little window box. Change the color so you can see it a little bit better. I'm going to select the two shapes and let's go ahead and align center. And then I'm going to select it again and hit slice. I'm going to remove my negative space. And this will just give me a little mirror to work with so that way I can just make sure that my text is centered perfectly in the middle of my envelope. Either way would be fine. Now, as you can see, the text right now in the operation panel is showing basic cut. I want to choose my drop down and change it from a basic cut to a pen. And as you can see, I have two mats. One has my text and the second has my mock envelope. And I'm just going to move this to the first mat that contains my text. I plan on placing my envelope about 1 inch away from the corner of my Cricut mat. And so I'm going to move the mock envelope to replicate that. And then I'm just going to position my text right exactly where I want it to be placed on my envelope. I'm going to click on my mock envelope here and just hide it. So now when I send this to cut, excuse me. So now when I send this to the mat to write with my Cricut pen, it'll write right in the perfect location of my envelope. I'm going to hit continue. And since for this particular project, I won't be cutting and I won't be needing to really pay attention to my base material, I'm just going to choose the medium cardstock because my Cricut pen is the only one that's going to be doing the work. It's going to ask me to load my black pen or whatever pen I would like to use to write my address for my envelope. I won't need to cut anything so that no tool is going to be required, and I'm going to be ready to finish the project. So to address my envelopes, I'm going to use my Cricut Black 0.4 pen, and I'm going to go ahead and place that in slot A. I'm going to move
my rollers out of the way to keep from any ink from smearing. And I'm going to go ahead and insert it into the slot until I hear that clicking sound. And I made sure to move my envelope about an inch away from the start of my Cricut mat and let my machine do all the work. I used some painter's tape to hold down the envelope onto my cutting mat. And as you can see, the font came out very clear and crisp and looks amazing.
And I'll show you how I made this bookmarker just so I can show you how you can incorporate different color pens in one design and just really make your design unique. So again, this is the little template that I made in Canva, and I just put everything on one file so I didn't have to upload 3 different elements. So I'm going to just go ahead and separate this now by going to Shapes. I'm going to unlock this square and just select everything and hit Slide. Change this color really quick. And from here, I just went ahead and went to operations and chose the pen option again and just changed the colors. And then I just, for my bookmark, before I moved any further, I just went ahead and cut out a little hole so I could add my tassel for my bookmark and slice that circle from my bookmark so I could have my tassel. And I went ahead and just played around with the design and sent it to cut. And then Cricut Design Space is going to prompt me for each color that I use for my design to change out the pen to that matching color.
So I'm going to remove my bookmarker from my standard grid mat. I'm just showing you how beautiful the colors came out, and I'm going to add a tassel, and now I am done. And I hope you liked today's tutorial. I hope you learned a little bit or a lot, and we cannot wait to see you on the next video of Crafting with Shaneda. Happy crafting!